So how he proposed was quite amazing. He wanted to do this trip from Vancouver to LA.
Right,
I was filming Mistresses season 3 at the time. And we packed up the car, went to Seattle first, saw a cousin of mine in Seattle. And then...
The ring was hot in my pocket. But yeah, it was just a matter of waiting for the right time. And I didn't want to do it in LA. We were living in LA. I didn't want to become those people who migrate to LA and claim LA to the fullest and blah, blah. Like, we're from Cleveland. Like, we're proud of being from Cleveland. And I had this master plan of always doing it in the driving school in which we met. I Googled, most romantic places to propose on the coast. And so this place came up called Proposal Rock in Niskowin, Oregon. It wasn't until 3 days into our trip that I was able to get to this place, So we're traveling and it's like, we're getting close to this beach,
We had
and it was late in the day already.
Already of other beaches that we went to.
Right.
Took pictures, we had lunch, and it's like 4 in the evening. And he wants to go to one more beach before we stop at the hotel. And I remember saying, I'm so tired. Let's just skip that last beach and let's just go to the hotel. He's like, no, it's on the way. We'll do it. She's flying into Cleveland. I'm moving my sister to LA. And so I'm on the phone with her, telling her that I'm already on the road. We're driving from Cleveland to LA. She doesn't know I'm still in Cleveland, Ohio. So it's a whole big surprise. And then her cousin is in on it. Her cousin's boyfriend's in on it, and the whole nine. And so when she lands, she goes to her cousin's birthday party, and then I'll pop up.
So my really good friend, DJ Cassidy, he was doing his birthday party at the Intrepid, which is like a retired warship with like old retired planes on it. Super amazing view, the whole thing. So while I'm trying to figure out where I'm going to propose, Cassidy calls me up and was like, listen, I'm on top of the ship right now, and the New York City skyline is like amazing. It's epic. You should propose here. He sent me a picture. We went to the birthday party, and around 3 a.m., Cassidy said, we should all go up to the upper deck of the ship and take some pictures. It's gonna be dope. So as we're walking, they start to kind of pull back from us, and she started looking back like, why are they not moving forward? And I was like, how long have we been doing this? And she was like, we've been doing this for a while now. I was like, so if I asked you to marry me, what would you say? And she was just kind of leaning back, and she was like, I would say yes. And so I just reached in my pocket. I didn't bend down because my pants were so tight. And I didn't want them to rip. I didn't want to have that moment. They were so tight. And I remember because I gained a couple pounds. They were so tight. I kind of did like a half bend.
You kept going up and down.
I kept going up and down. Every time I was like, got lower, I heard, and I was like, nah, that ain't gonna happen. So I was like, will you marry me? She said, yes. Cut to, her family didn't even know that we were still dealing with each other. So they thought like, okay, you guys dated for a while, didn't work out, and we hadn't seen him in years.
We're walking on the beach. And
she's like,
oh no, I have my purse.
And she's like, I gotta go to the bathroom. And I'm like,
first he says, oh. I said, how far are we walking? He goes, we're gonna walk all down there to that rock. That rock was 2 miles away.
No, it wasn't 2 miles. It wasn't 2 miles.
That's how I tell the story. There's 2 whole miles.
Maybe like a half. We're at the party for a little bit, her cousin's birthday. And I'm like, let's just drive around. And so we go driving around the city, and I take her to the places that we haven't seen in a while because she hasn't been there in 5 years, whatever amount of years. And so she's like, oh, this is cool. Everything's changed. I'm like, let's go to the movie theaters that we went to. So we go to the movie theater on the first day. Then McDonald's is right across the street. Let's go to the McDonald's that we went to. And she's like, oh man, this is so cool. You know what we should do? We should go to the driving school. This is her saying it. And I was like, money. I was like, it's gonna work. And
so I walk, I don't find a restroom, and I really have to go.
That was the worst. She came back, she's walking towards me. I'm like, you find it? She was like, no. And I had the towels out.
And then I looked and it said, will you marry me? And this was a shock to me. And then I turned around and he was on his knee with a ring. And I really did forget that I had to go to the bathroom after that. For like an hour, we were standing out there talking about
taking pictures. Everybody's clapping, like. And so I'm like, yeah, let me stop at the gas station really fast. To surprise you with a gift. And so I go to the gas station and I buy Funyuns. And our joke behind our Funyuns is the first time when we were talking the story earlier when we met in driving school and I was trying to spit game to her and my phone broke. I was eating Funyuns at the time and I offered her one and she was like, nah, I'm cool. And the whole time I felt so self-conscious. I knew my breath smelled like onions and the whole nine. And so it was this big joke about how I was smashing on Funyuns. So I bought the Funyuns bag and was like, we're gonna go to the driving school. We go to the driving school. We arrive, we pop out on the front steps of the driving school where she first says, hey, Steven, how's it going or whatever, that first encounter where I didn't know who she was. And she goes, let's reenact that moment. Oh, this is her just doing it herself. And I was just like, wait, what? And I'm looking around and then my sister's boyfriend's at the bus stop right in front recording. She has no idea who he is because she never met him. So he's getting like a great view of everything. And then my sister's in the car recording, so everyone's getting a different angle. And she comes out, she's like, hey, Steven. And she's flirting or whatever, blah, blah. And so I'm like, I'm going to just go with the whole row. And then be like, do you want some Funyuns? And she's like, yeah. And so I open the bag of Funyuns and she digs her hand in this bag of Funyuns and pulls out
the ring.
The ring that was in a little box. What she didn't know is I had a bag of Funyuns already ready in the bag. So I switched the bags when we left the thing. She flipped out. Well, first she put her hand in there. She was like, what is that? What's up with this? There ain't no Funyuns in this month. And I was like, she's like, what is that? And I was like, no, it's not it. And then she started pulling out and then she started getting emotional. So I figured she already knew when she started feeling it wasn't a mouse and or no Funyuns. And so we pull it out and I get on one knee and I had this whole like planned speech on like, babe, I love you, been together for such and such years and this, that, and the other. And I couldn't get a word out. Like I was like, I love you. And I'm trying to think of the words, but it didn't matter because she was like crying and went like, is this real? Is it real? Oh my God. She's crying. And I'm like,
I don't know if you were real.
Why would I play with that moment? That is so evil.
We decided to go over and tell her mom, you know, we got there, her mom had grapes and cheese and crackers. And I was like, this might be all right. You know what I mean? Everybody got cheese and crackers. I'm always down, you know. We walked in, she poured me a glass of wine, gave Miriam a glass of wine. We sat down. I remember like she had these two chairs that faces the couch. And I sat in one and Miriam sat in one. And she sat on the couch by herself and she just crossed her leg. And she was like, well, I'm just going to tell you like this. I don't trust neither one of you. And the crackers and the wine and everything just went down the drain. I lost my appetite and my stomach started bubbling. And she was like, you know, she felt disrespected that she didn't know. She felt disrespected.
Yeah, we have a lot of PR to do.
We got a lot of PR to do. She felt disrespected because, you know, I didn't come to her and talk to her about it. It took a while. It took a while for her to see me for me because, you know, once, you know, we're all human. You have to get over that hump of judgment. You know what I mean? You got to get over that hump of resentment. So it took a while. It took a good year for her to start really having a rapport with me that was just warm. You know what I mean?
And it was then difficult on our end as well. My mom and I are very, very, very close.
Yeah.
So with us, it was, she felt sad, you know, that I wasn't forthcoming with her. She then understood after a while why I had done what I had done. And I think at the end of the day, she respected it. Mm-hmm. But they've really grown to, but I've always said, even when we were dating, I was like, you're my mother. You guys are exactly the same.
Yeah.
You guys are exactly
we're the same. I am a little Jewish woman.
Yeah.
Deep down inside.
I never thought about marriage, and we just always had been together, and we talked about being together for a while. So him proposing was like, oh my God, we're about to be these people? Like, really? It was just something I had never sat down to actually think about. So I think that's why it hit me so hard.
It was that, and the way we did it. Like, I remember telling a few friends like how I was going to do this, and they were like, ain't you want to do like a hot air balloon in the ocean in a view or blah, 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 or when you're on a trip? You going to like the hood to a driving school? And I was like, you don't know Sierra, brother. This is going to work. This is going to work. She's not expecting it.
That was it.
Driving school and the Funyuns, to me, it was genius.